morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegun Live. Please read the caption of the broadcast, the description as well, just as much as you can. Then share the broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them that Mayegun today. I say to you, brother, the African Wahala. Tell everybody that Mayegun today. We will be going to Burkina Faso today because they speak French. Make it less interesting or make it more like for Nigerians who are disinterested in what is really going on in that axis. We will speak more about that today. And the young man, 36-year-old Ibrahim Traore, you need to hear him. Lucky you, those of you who have been really up to date and following things. Some new leadership, I imagine, from Africa, and this guy seems to be topping the charts. So much. There is also a rukudinyo going on all over the social media because of David Undenyi's interview. Shall speak a bit about that too. So today, good morning to you once again, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you. And thank you for joining me. It is brunch time with Mayegun. Yeah, we are starting late, but it's still gonna be worth it. Now, to those of you who have been, to those of us who have been following this development in Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Guinea, and some of the Sahel states and their political upheavals with their colonial masters, especially that of Burkina Faso. These West African countries are mostly considered insignificant. In fact, the deluded Nigerians sort of look at them that way too. Like, what do they have to offer? Not many actually knew that the Western world that you are looking out there, they are surviving on the back of these millions of people who are pretty much like slaves to the Western world. While this generation after generation continue to endure, it seems that the generation of Traore and people, like him, they were biding their time. 2 years ago, a young man took over government of Burkina Faso, among other coups that have been happening. He was 34 years old. He was part of the presidential guard team and all that, protecting the elite that traded their own country for a plate of porridge. Now, it was expected to be another dictator, a young man who probably dreams of owning the whole world and all that. But he chose different. And somehow, they turned what was supposed to be a coup to actual national revolution. And less have been really said about them. The most news you hear about them is that there was a coup, they're fighting France or telling France to leave and all that. It is deeper than that. And I'm actually happy to share some of them with you today. I've got clips, all right, just to kind of cement the needed info that should be out there. Okay. And then the man himself, the guy himself, he is now 36 years old. Yeah, he's a years old man, the youngest leader of any country in the world, Ibrahim Traore. Now, there are younger people in Nigeria, including myself, which is pretty much older than him, right, who are living under what it is pretty much pronounced now that the Western imperialism and the way they see Africa. There is a young man that actually is in position of power, making a lot of difference under this Western sanctioned, control. He still manages, right, to push like someone who, after listening to him a few times, and mostly his recent speech, is a guy that seems to be like, though he's young, but he's so intelligent. And when I talk about intelligence is understanding the world around you. This is somebody who actually understands the concept of the type of independence granted Africa and how the world sees us and treats us, and why that has to stop in a very clear, unambiguous language. So I'm going to share that with you. And that is what I call intelligence. Okay? So he has shown a lot enough that with him, as a member of the Traore countries of the Sahel that just formed an alliance just a few days ago, you can really tell there is actually something on the horizon for Africa. And you should know about it than other defeatist agendas that or propagandas that are mostly out there. The ones that make it look like it is never going to happen, or it's just a matter of time, and all other kind of insinuation and all that. So I want you to listen a little bit to him. But before we kind of listen, a few recap of what these guys are kind of projecting. In the last 2 years, they've managed to understand their place in the world. They are no longer listening to what the world says about them. Now they know themselves, and they actually want the world to see them for who they are, not as the world sees them. It's incredible, right? So when they chased out their elites, especially from Mali, Niger, and this Burkina Faso, they decided to turn what was a coup to a revolution, a national revolution, right? Now, knowing and understanding their place in the world, chasing and continue to chase away those who have enslaved them, because that's what he said. He said, Africa is the colony of slaves that must be fed, slaves that can't take care of themselves, slaves that don't even know what they want. He said that's exactly how the West sees Africa, and he is so right. The West doesn't see Africa or the entire continent as a place of partnership. It is a colony of slaves that has so much, but the people, they have no idea what they want. So we need to help them. We need to feed them. We need to guide them. That's how they see us. That's how they see us, and that's how they treat us. If you want to change that, if you want to make them stop seeing you that way, then you have to also stop the way you treat yourself. So what did they do? They expected their brothers from the other part of Africa to join them, right? But they won't. They are puppets. So these three guys came together, valued themselves, and realized that they could actually be one of the richest countries, or the richest countries in the world, if they set their priority right and stop the pillaging and the stealing. Then form a sort of a trade union, whereby they will be trading with themselves. Common currency from among these countries, hearing of their own resources in rebuilding themselves, including becoming a nuclear-powered region, a nuclear-powered bloc. These are ambitious things that have gotten so many African leaders killed. And that is why when you see people outside looking inside of what is going on in this part, they kind of have, they are expecting, they are Africans, so they are expecting that they should have their own. Once the West, once this and that, once they are ready, they will crush them. Sort of. They are very ambitious. And you need to know about that. Whatever you are tolerating in your country, whatever they are telling you about them, I know a lot of Africans actually admires them. But beyond the fancy words, beyond all of, what do you call it, look good things you've heard about them, there's actually a chance for you to understand deeper what is really going on in that place. And that's what we're going to do. Okay? There is, what do you call it? One second. Let me quickly check something. Right. So I'm going to start with, what has it been like in the last 2 years of this guy in the impoverished West African country, Burkina Faso, a mineral resources rich country, but so depleted, right, by France and their allies. And they were left with nothing. 2 years ago, they decided to go after their elites that actually allowed that. And 2 years after, he has made a name for himself as an emerging young African leader that deserves, right, not just to be heard, not just to listen to, but to be supported, no matter what you are being told about them. There are many. They told you democracy is what you want, but they gave you democracy that you could have no power to even choose your leaders. Your elections are rigged in such a way that rogues, criminals, treasury looters are using democracy to impoverish the people, deplete their countries. That's what the West wants. But what does the people of Burkina Faso want? Here is Ibrahim Traore. And let's give the credit for these clips. Special job. The credit for these clips goes to the Uplift Africa. There is a channel that is beaming their searchlight on what is really going on in these francophone African countries, especially the trio of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic, that the world has been waiting for to fall after all their sanctions. Rather than them falling, they are turning the tide in a very big, ambitious way. So Uplift Africa owns the credit to these clips, just for educational purposes. Sit back. Let's go take a look.
At a remarkably young age of just 35 years as of 2024, Ibrahim Traore is one of the world's youngest head of state. Yet, this has not deterred him from his unyielding commitment to enhance Burkina Faso. He has already demonstrated his unwavering determination to tackle obstacles and implement the changes he deems essential for the country's progress. His enthusiasm to bring about positive transformation is truly remarkable. He has been in power for just over a year, but has already come up with many projects for Burkina Faso, and has also continued with some of the projects he met, and that will be our focus in today's video. We are going to be showing you some of the major construction and development projects Ibrahim Traore is undertaking, and which of these projects have already been realized so far. Project number 1. The construction of the Ouagadougou Airport. The government of Burkina Faso, led by President Ibrahim Traore, is currently undertaking a major project that is sure to have a significant impact on the country's economy. The construction of a brand new airport in Ouagadougou. To finance this massive undertaking, Traore's administration has secured loans totaling a whopping $61.8 million from both the West African Development Bank and the ECOWAS Bank. This project is expected to cost over $420 million and should be completed by 2024. Perhaps most excitingly, the construction of this new airport is expected to generate over 5,000 new jobs for the people of Burkina Faso. Once the new airport is up and running, it will make it much easier for people and goods to move into and out of the country. This, in turn, is expected to attract new businesses and investment, which should have a positive impact on the economy as a whole. With a terminal building that can handle up to 1.5 million passengers per year, this new airport is sure to be a major asset for the country in the years to come. Project number 2. The construction of a gold refinery. On November 23, 2023, Burkina Faso's president, Ibrahim Traore, laid the foundation stone for the country's first gold refinery. The facility, developed in partnership with Morena Gold, a local gold company, will have an annual refining capacity of 150 tons and is expected to create 100 direct jobs and over 5,000 indirect jobs. The refinery will also house a jewelry store. The move towards local processing of gold is a growing trend in African mining countries, with Mali also considering the construction of a gold refinery. Project number 3. Modernization of all roads in the country. Despite being one of the poorest countries in Africa, Burkina Faso is making strides towards improving its road infrastructure. Ibrahim Traore, the current leader, is continuing the efforts of his predecessors by investing in road construction and rehabilitation projects. These projects aim to enhance the quality and connectivity of the country's road network, involving the construction of new roads, widening of existing ones, and upgrading of gravel roads to paved surfaces. The importance of cross-border roads cannot be overstated, as they facilitate regional trade and connect Burkina Faso with neighboring countries. The Ouagadougou-Djibasso Highway, a significant road infrastructure project, is set to be completed this year. This 343 kilometers highway will link the capital city of Ouagadougou to the Djibasso region in the northern part of the country. Other notable road projects include the Ouagadougou-Kaya Highway and the Ouagadougou-Zanire Highway. The government of Burkina Faso is also planning to construct new roads and rehabilitate existing ones in the rural areas. Such efforts will undoubtedly improve the quality of life for the inhabitants of these regions, making their daily lives safer and more comfortable. The transformation of Burkina Faso's road infrastructure is a significant milestone in the country's development, and its citizens are overjoyed to witness these changes. The Zagtouli Solar Park. Since President Traore took office, there has been a surge in renewable energy projects, with a particular focus on solar energy due to the country's abundant sunlight. One notable success story is the Zagtouli Solar Power Plant, which boasts an impressive capacity of 33 megawatts. Burkina Faso is also exploring the potential of biomass and biogas projects that utilize agricultural waste for energy production. These initiatives are a step towards reducing the country's reliance on fossil fuels, mitigating climate change, and fostering sustainable economic growth. Burkina Faso is committed to achieving its renewable energy targets and paving the way for a brighter, greener future. The Samandeni Dam. Rising on the Comoé River near the border with Côte d'Ivoire, the Samandeni Dam project symbolizes both the hopes and hurdles faced by Burkina Faso. Decades in the making, this large-scale initiative aims to provide hydropower, irrigation, and improved water access, potentially transforming the region. After years of delays and challenges, the dam nears completion, with an expected inauguration in 2024. When Ibrahim Traore assumed the presidency of Burkina Faso in September 2022, the Samandini Dam project was nearly 70% complete. Traore has made it clear that finishing the project is a top priority for his government, and he has taken swift action to ensure its timely completion. By allocating additional resources and urging contractors to expedite their work, Traore aims to bring the benefits of the dam to the people of Burkina Faso as soon as possible. Once finished, the Samandini Dam will provide irrigation to over 100,000 hectares.
There is more. But at least, just so you know that it is not about the videos of him or the videos of them marching all the time, seeing him waving at the crowd and all that. That's all they are doing. These guys are trying to get themselves back after decades of exploitation, decades of spreading and managing poverty by those who were supposed to be the West, whose companies, they were taking all their resources and they never really invested or, set up any of those manufacturing companies. Refining factories to refine those resources in Burkina Faso, create jobs for their people. They never did. It was all about take the resources and ship them out. Take the resources and ship them out. Electricity was pretty much like, and they have all the resources to do that. Now, you see what they are doing when he's investing in solar power, solar electricity, and then, investing in the dam, hydroelectricity, and all of that. You see, the same similar thing is going on in Mali. It's going on in Niger Republic. They are trying now to kind of create their own independence in a way that if they have anybody to depend on, it will be themselves. There is this long watch I want you to listen to. Same thing from the I'm going to continue that video you watched of what they are doing. I actually want you to listen to him addressing some Africans who returned back to Africa. Yeah, because they have heard a lot and they wanted to support or help, according to them. Now, he spoke about what he felt or how he believes the West actually sees Africa and why Africa should see themselves even like you have to see yourself better than how the world sees you, but you need to first understand how they see us. And I kind of agree with him. So here, Uplift Africa clip as well. The credit for this video also goes to them as well, right? Quite an interesting speech. Also very much interesting watch. Now listen to the guy talk.
This continent has suffered so much and continues to suffer because of imperialists. These imperialists have only one cliché in mind. Africa is the empire of slaves. This is how they see Africa. For them, Africans belong to them. Our lands belong to them. Our subsoil belongs to them. They have never been able to change the logic until today. This is deplorable. But how do they proceed? Unfortunately, it is since the 1960s that these 6,000 acres of independence have been given to Africa. They have just placed local valets at the head, according to them, of their sub-prefecture to be able to continue to feed them. These local valets, which we are going to call today the slaves of Salon, have other goals. They want to live like the master, to satisfy the master, and to do everything that the master dictates to them. They steal, They plunder our states. They bring everything to the master, and their wealth is kept with the master. They do everything to live like the master and always satisfy him. Do you know who these slaves of Salon are? Well, we are going to explain to you what they are. They are individuals who have no dignity, who have no morals, who have no personality.